Good evening, everyone. I'm your host Yashasvi Gupta with your daily roundup of legal updates from across the country. For detailed reading, you can always visit on our website. Please make sure to watch this video till the end and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. In the first news today, the Supreme Court stayed the direction passed by a two-judge bench that stray dogs which are picked up from the Delhi NCR must not be released. A three-judge bench comprising Justice Vikram Nath, Justice Sandeep Mehta and Justice N.V. Anjaria clarified that the stray dogs which are picked up must be released after sterilization and immunization, except those dogs which are infected with rabies or are exhibiting aggressive behavior. The court also ordered restrictions on public feeding of stray dogs and directed the creation of dedicated feeding spaces. The Apex Court expanded the scope of the matter beyond Delhi NCR and extended it pan-India. The court also said that it will transfer to itself the similar petitions pending in high courts to the Supreme Court to create a pan-India policy. In the Bihar SIR matter, the Supreme Court today ordered that the persons who are excluded from the draft electoral roll can submit their applications for inclusion through online mode and that physical submission of the forms is not necessary. The court further clarified that any of the 11 documents mentioned by the Election Commission of India or an Aadhaar card can be submitted along with the application seeking inclusion in the list. A bench of Justice Suryakant and Justice Joy Malia Bagchi also directed the 12 recognized political parties in the state of Bihar to instruct their booth level agents to assist the persons in their respective booths for the submission of the forms. Addressing the concerns raised by some petitioners that the booth level officers were not issuing acknowledgement receipts to the objections submitted by the booth level agents, the court directed the BLOs to acknowledge the receipt wherever physical forms are submitted. To recap, the court was dealing with a batch of petitions challenging ECI's special intensive revision of Bihar's electoral rolls ahead of the state assembly's elections. On August 14, the court concluded the hearing of petitioners' argument and then heard the Election Commission. After hearing both sides, it directed the poll body to publish on the website of the district electoral officers district-wise list of 65 lakh voters approx who have been omitted from the draft electoral roll published after the SIR drive. The court also stated that the reasons for deletion such as death, migration, double registration, etc. should be specified. Please leave your thoughts on this matter below in the comment section. Coming to the next news today, a PIL has been filed before the Supreme Court seeking deregistration of the Indian National Congress as a political party, as well as constitution of an SIT to investigate party leaders Rahul Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge's vote chori campaign against the Election Commission of India. As a temporary measure, the petitioner seeks ex parte ad interim stay restraining INC, Gandhi, Kharge, their agents and representatives from making any public statements, speeches, campaigns or issuing publications undermining the authority and credibility of ECI during pendency of the case. The petition is filed by Satish Kumar Agrawal, ex-vice president of Akhil Bharat Hindu Mahasabha. The plea further states that since the issue of Bihar special intensive revision is sub judice before the Supreme Court, INC, Gandhi and Kharge cannot run propaganda campaigns and make vote chori allegations in public meetings. The Supreme Court refused urgent listing of an application seeking suspension of the union government's launched Ummeed portal, created for online registration of Waqfs, including Waqfs by user. Chief Justice of India B.R. Gavai observed that the issue will be considered in the pending judgment on petitions challenging the Waqf Amendment Act 2025, on which orders have been already reserved since May 20. Chief Justice of India B.R. Gavai observed that the issue will be considered in the pending judgment on petitions challenging the Waqf Amendment Act 2025, on which orders have been already reserved since May 22nd. Advocate mentioning the matter argued that the registration requirements under the Ummeed portal cannot be presently fulfilled by Waqf by user and therefore sought the court's intervention. She stated that although an application had been filed, the registry refused to list it on the ground that judgment in the main matter is reserved. CJI Gavai, however, clarified that there is no bar on registration and suggested that users may proceed to register, assuring that the court will examine the issue while deciding the challenge to the Waqf Amendment Act. In this matter, multiple petitions and interventions have questioned the constitutional validity and implication of the 2025 amendment. Coming to the next news today, the Supreme Court has granted interim protection from arrest to the Vice founding editor Siddharth Varadarajan and senior journalist Karan Thapar. The Assam police had filed FIRs under section 152 of the BNS after the Wire reported on a seminar where India's defense personnel discussed Operation Sindoor. The court has now said that no coercive action shall be taken against the journalist till September 15th provided that they cooperate with the investigation. The case has sparked outrage, with many calling it a fresh attempt to silence critical journalism by using laws that resemble sedition in a new form. Please leave your thoughts on this matter below in the comment section. The Apex Court orders status quo till Monday, that is August 25th, with respect to the Hindu plaintiff's suit against the Sambhal Mosque in Uttar Pradesh. The bench was hearing the Sambhal Mosque Committee's plea against the May 19, 2025 order of the Allahabad High Court that held that the suit against the Shahi Jama Masjid in Sambhal was not barred by the Places of Worship Act. In this matter, senior advocate Huzaifa Ahmadi for the petitioner submitted that the challenge was to the High Court's finding that the suit was not barred by the Places of Worship Act. Advocate Vishnu Shankar Jain for the respondent submitted that the issue relating to the Places of Worship Act did not arise in this case. He contended that since the Sambhal Mosque was a monument protected by the Archaeological Survey of India, it was outside the ambit of the Act. He said that the plaintiffs are only seeking access to the monument. Jain further submitted that another bench of the court today passed an order that an ASI protected monument is not covered by the Places of Worship Act. To recap, the suit before the trial court was filed by 8 Hindu plaintiffs, including Mahant Rishi Rajgiri, who claimed that the mosque was constructed in 1526 after partially demolishing an ancient temple dedicated to Kalki, the last avatar of Lord Vishnu. They sought the right to access this structure, which is a protected monument under the Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act 1958. In the last news today, the Delhi High Court has ruled that a woman has no right to residence under Section 17 of the Domestic Violence Act after the marriage is dissolved by way of a divorce unless a contrary statutory right is shown to exist. Section 17 of the Domestic Violence Act provides that every woman in a domestic relationship shall have the right to reside in the sharehold household, whether or not she has any right, title or beneficial interest in the same. The court was hearing an appeal by a daughter-in-law against a family court decree in favor of her mother-in-law in a suit for possession and injunction. The mother-in-law, who passed away in 2016, left her estate to her daughter through a will. The daughter-in-law argued that she had been living in the property since her marriage in 1999, contributed financially to its purchase and construction, and was wrongfully disposed after marital discord. The family court, noting the divorce decree of November 19, 2019, held that she has no enforceable right to continue in the premises. The High Court upheld this, observing that without a subsisting domestic help, Section 17 protections cannot apply. It also rejected her claim of ownership through financial contribution. Granting her 6 months to vacate, the court found no infirmity in the family court's order.